We are in League C Group I as the U.S. Virgin Islands get set to take on St. Maarten. Just briefly saw there the pitch conditions and the weather. Looks like we're in pretty good shape for our doubleheader here today. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, happy to have you with us. Now, Group I is certainly an interesting topic of conversation within the League C setup. No questions about that. U.S. Virgin Islands with a 2-2 draw yesterday here against Turks and Caicos. So now, playing St. Maarten here this morning, they are essentially in a must-win situation. If they do pick up 3 points, they'll be sitting on 4, but that is the end of their group stage because of the size of the group. So St. Maarten have a game after this tomorrow morning against, of course, Turks and Caicos. So if they were to win, they would essentially set up a winner-take-all game tomorrow with Turks and Caicos, and the U.S. Virgin Islands would not have a chance. So it is already a must-win game in these group phases, and that will, of course, always add a little bit of extra drama on top of what we've already come to expect from the competition. Had wonderful games yesterday in the different leagues and all the different grounds around the region, and we are excited certainly to kick things off again for you in this one. Again, the U.S. Virgin Islands showing that they have good acumen in front of goal yesterday, scoring a couple of times, but of course, only having to settle for a point. Turks and Caicos did very well in front of goal, also in a 2-2 draw. So how will the U.S. Virgin Islands bounce back, particularly from a defensive standpoint, coming into this game today? A clean sheet for them would go a long, long way in particular. And again, a draw wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for them, but it would put them on the outside looking in as far as the table is concerned. A win is really what only keeps the U.S. Virgin Islands in serious contention moving forward. St. Maarten know they have a game on the back end as well tomorrow morning against Turks and Caicos, but they do have to play this like it is a game that means everything to them, because if they do lose this game, they could potentially be the ones on the chopping block tomorrow. All to play for in League C's Group I. We'll step aside for a moment. We'll have the national anthems for both teams, followed by the lineups and the kickoff in Curacao.
You all to please stand as we now listen first to the national anthem of U.S. Virgin Islands. Remain standing as we now listen to the national anthem of St. Maarten. Concacaf under 15
A wonderful rendition of both countries' national anthems here, as the two sets of players exchange pleasantries here with not just each other, but with our officiating crew, who we'll introduce you to in just a moment. Again, Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, happy to have you with us for another day of action at the Concacaf Under 15 Boys Championships. And we start by looking at the starting lineups for Alexi Bedford and the U.S. Virgin Islands, playing their second game in as many days. Kaimani Bellot leads the front line. It's a very stacked midfield four, led by the captain Nelson O'Denny, Mensa Jacobs, Donovan Berry, Darnell John, all to look out for as well. Taj Alexander is the leader of that back line, and Andrew Alvarado gets the starting goal for the boys in light blue from head to toe, with the yellow trim and numerals on the back. Get a 2-2 draw yesterday for the U.S. Virgin Islands means that they really do need 3 points in this game today, as we look at our on-field officiating crew, led by the Honduran head official Jose Valladares. Costa Rica, Dominica, and Bahamas all represented amongst our on-field officiating crew. There is no VAR as well. That is also worth mentioning. And Hugo Turque is the St. Martin captain. He is in red, the number 8, as they make their debuts at this 2025 edition of the Under-15 Concacaf Boys Championship. We get a chance to see how they line up in a game that would be massive for them to win. Jean-Louis 11 looks like this. Again, Turque is captaining the side in that attacking diamond. Jaden Benjamin, another player to look out for as well up top. Isaiah Musgrave, can he be clinical in front of goal? And then you look at Makervens, Marcelin, and Jordan Nebour in that midfield setup. Ronnie Jean-Baptiste gets the start in goal. And the likes of Jaquani Lake, Yvonne Richardson look to anchor things at the back. St. Martin are all in red, with the white numerals on the back and the blue trim that we've come accustomed to seeing them in. At this wonderful facility here in Curacao, it will be the U.S. Virgin Islands who will kick us off. They'll be going from left to right. All that stands between us and the start of the match is the sound of the referee's whistle. A game that really both teams need to have. A win for either could propel them towards the top of the group, and potentially, who knows, on to the next round, pending tomorrow's fixture as well. Off we go. Here in Curacao, the U.S. Virgin Islands control off the kickoff. They look to flood forward here, quite literally, the St. Martin end, but the men in red have it right back as we are off and running the Concacaf Boys Under 15 Championship. Big game here, no questions about that. League C, Group I, with a lot on the line. As St. Martin bring this forward here with Musgrave. And Musgrave is stood up on this near side. It deflects out of play. It is a throw-in. Again, for those new to the tournament, 70-minute games, 35-minute halves. And we've had some very, very good games already in the early days of the tournament. We're actually, believe it or not, already getting towards the midway point as far as the days of the tournament are concerned, if you can believe that. But time flies when you're having fun. St. Martin are hoping to get off to a really swift start here. Initial ball forward is placed well wide and forces a St. Martin reset. Nebour dispossessed in traffic. There was a brief chance for the U.S. Virgin Islands to counterattack there. They still might get that opportunity on the far side, but the aforementioned Nabor steps in. And as they look to move it down that far side, it bounces out of play. It's a St. Maarten throw. Well, this is a fixture, certainly a game here today where you sort of see a really long-standing debate rage on, which is you have a St. Maarten team that are fresh. They haven't played yet at this tournament, taking on a U.S. Virgin Islands team that has a game under their belt. Will that help them in this game against a St. Maarten team that, yes, are fresher, but maybe don't quite have the flow yet? They don't quite have that extra step and maybe don't have that chemistry together yet that they need for a tournament like this. Or the other side of the debate is that St. Maarten are fresher. They don't have 70 minutes of time on their legs already, and maybe that will be a difference in this game. Being the fresher team, being a team that can look at this with a fresh pair of eyes, will that help them maybe go through in this game? And then, of course, there's option C, which is that neither really plays that much of a role at all. And we'll see who wins out, regardless of some of those extra circumstances. More defending to do early on here for the U.S. Virgin Islands. It deflects out of play. St. Maarten with a throw-in that they take quickly, maybe too quickly here, but they'll get another try at it on this near side. That was Kevon Richardson trying to find a teammate on the edge of the penalty area. He does so again, and again it ricochets back out of play. Ooh, a chance here for Nabor, who follows up. Played down the line by Lake. And a push and a chase by Marcelin, whose ball into the middle is dangerous. Oh, and it just needed a bit more control from Jaden Benjamin, who was actually left unmarked. Could not get his feet set. And eventually the U.S. Virgin Islands clear it. Oh, they look for a foul there. St. Maarten, it's not been given. Oh, lovely turn. Will it open up here for a chance? No, it will not. It's quickly closed down. From a defensive point of view, the U.S. Virgin Islands do well there to close the gap at the expense of another throw. Richardson, lovely skill. But his cross again is blocked. Well, some wonderful cover here defensively from the U.S. Virgin Islands, but St. Maarten just keep on coming. Another opportunity here to provide some service. We're into the 7th minute. Corner for St. Maarten. It's right towards goal where there was some miscommunication. Alvarado and company just about got that clear. Those could be some dangerous moments when the ball is up for grabs inside the 6-yard box and you have two players from the same team try to contest it like that. course, goalkeepers are taught in that situation to take charge, even if it's your own player in the way. Just get the ball, deal with it later. Marcelin resets. Another ball forward. That's going to roll out of play. And it's a U.S. Virgin Islands throw. One that they do take quickly. And on this near side, Scott dispossessed. Turkey also not able to move it forward. Again, the U.S. Virgin Islands win it back. Zaire Scott doing everything he can there to try to help out. But the U.S. Virgin Islands, who had a chance to move that forward. It's a miscued pass. And eventually they do win the ball back on this far side, but they play it out for a throw. Early cross into the middle. He is well fielded by Andrew Alvarado. He actually may have caught that out of the air. One of those in-betweeners that the goalkeeper handles rather well. It's almost like being a catcher or an infielder at times in the game of baseball. Those in-between hops. It's ones that are tough to judge. Goalkeepers sometimes have to make sure their whole body is in front of the ball on moments like that. So if they don't get it perfectly right, they can at least possibly pop up and hit them on their chest and allow them to keep the ball in front of them. Instead of the alternative, of course. From the throw, cleared out only as far as Turkey. And that ambitious shot is well wide of its intended target. Goal kick. This is going to bounce kindly up the other end here. There's blue shirts moving ahead. Oh, and it wasn't a bad idea to cut back and try to play it square, but nobody on the same page. That could have been a real chance for the U.S. Virgin Islands after decent service from Alvarado, the goalkeeper, up the other end. Turkey down this near side trying to pick out Damani Brown, who is met. And it bounces out of play. More good defending from Colbert Feda on this near side. He's had a good start to the match. And from the throw-in again, the U.S. Virgin Islands have the answers. And they clear it up the other end where it could be a straightaway here. Possible break, but St. Maarten do just about enough to get that clear. That was Jairo Jean-Baptiste having to retreat and get on the cover to make sure that the U.S. Virgin Islands didn't have a straight path towards goal. They'll take another throw on this near side. St. Maarten win the ball back in the middle of their own half. They tried to break up the other end through Benjamin, but this will be brought back for a foul and a free kick. Time and space here to maybe get a cross in. And it's a really good ball in behind, but it's just out of the reach. Oh, just about out of the reach on this near side. I think it was Jaden Benjamin who was the target and had made a wonderful run into the penalty area. US Virgin Islands backed off. It gave space and, of course, time to get the early cross in, and what a ball it was. But in the end, Benjamin, a bit unfortunate, it just skipped right past him, and he could not get it on the back end. A little bit of a warning shot there for the US Virgin Islands. Yeah, Boer leaves it for Lake, who then shepherds it out for a throw. And then does play the cross in. Oh, was headed out, a high boot attempt. It didn't make contact. St. Maarten can recycle here with Turkey. Cannot find a teammate. It's picked off and cleared back into the St. Maarten half. Jean-Baptiste bringing it forward. He'll try an early ball to the edge of the area. Again, looking for Benjamin. And then it's headed back into the 18-yard box where Alvarado is there to claim it. Oh, Turkey, lovely skill. Gets away from a couple of challenges, finds Richardson, and Richardson's ball over the top. He's hit with too much power, looking again for Jaden Benjamin. Again, right idea, just a little too firm on the execution. US Virgin Islands have some numbers up the other end here, but that pass does not come off. And it could be a chance here for St. Maarten up the other end with Jaden Benjamin, who chops it onto his left, but there's too many blue shirts backtracking, and they are able to deal with it and win a throw in on the near side. Well, just a little glimpse as to why St. Maarten really want to get Jaden Benjamin involved here in these opening minutes. He's got the capability to be a game changer, no questions about that. And the referee is going to allow both teams to head off for a cooling break here in the 16th minute. Well, it's been a really good game so far. I think St. Maarten will argue that they've had the better of it so far. Certainly more of the possession. A few notable chances that you could bring up as well. A couple of forays forward for the US Virgin Islands, but not too much to write home about yet for them in the attacking sense. Defensively, though, they've been trying their best. They've been closing the gaps, making it harder and harder for St. Maarten to break through and create opportunities. Can they build off of that early defensive stability and get some possession moving forward? Obviously, St. Maarten's midfield have come to play. Every time it seems the US Virgin Islands are going to go through the middle of the park, they're quickly dispossessed, and that's something that they'll have to work through if they are to get something on the board in this one today. Oh, lovely touch into space here. And the U.S. Virgin Islands do move this forward into the middle of the St. Martin half. But again, it is dealt with by that back line. Now Jean-Baptiste, not for the first time, in the right place to handle things defensively from a St. Martin point of view. It's okay, back to Richardson, and then Arundel. Back to Ronnie Jean-Baptiste, who hasn't had too much to work with yet. That's a touch on the ball there, the goalkeeper. And they'll go back to him a second time. Ooh, there was a possible pullback there. And then really good defensive work on the back end. Callan Payne able to do really well for the U.S. Virgin Islands from a defensive standpoint there. Had to use his pace to backtrack and make a solid defensive stand. But St. Martin are relentless down that far side. They keep pushing forward. Eventually, though, they're stopped again. More good defending on the U.S. Virgin Islands. It ricochets out of play on this near side. Multiple players in light blue doing well on that far side from a defensive standpoint. Again, Jean-Baptiste. And again, the U.S. Virgin Islands there to cut out the initial pass. Now Richardson for St. Martin. Oh, lovely little move from Brown here to the byline. And Brown's cross is too close to Alvarado. Altamani Brown did so well initially. Lovely little sweep to ease past a defender there on this near side. Gets to the byline. Just needed a cross that had a little bit more depth on it.
Joseph, viens Joseph. Steven, tu dois rester la ligne, Steven. Salut.
Oh, Benjamin, good take. Really good take, but his shot is blocked. Another moment of just being able to keep your poise, easing past defenders, but in the end blocked. And in the end, giving up a free kick overall from a St. Martin point of view. Could be a chance again for the U.S. Virgin Islands. Just needed better control up top there. And St. Martin bring this up the other end. This is Benjamin, who had his shot blocked by Alvarado. Great goalkeeping. St. Martin come again. And that long cross into the middle. Alvarado again read it very well. Knew it was going to go wide. Another chance for Jaden Benjamin. The ball played through. You wondered for a split second there if Benjamin had stayed on side. It appeared he had. The flag had stayed down. But Andrew Alvarado with some wonderful anticipation there, able to take it off him. But here they come again, St. Maarten. Again, Benjamin is the target, and again, the U.S. Virgin Islands have the answer at the expense of a corner. That time it was Feda getting a critical touch from a defensive standpoint. From the corner, it's right towards Alvarado, who hesitated just for a split second, but was able to make a clean catch anyway. What did we say earlier? How good has the St. Maarten midfield been so far? They just will not let the U.S. Virgin Islands through the middle of the park here. Even when they do, the defensive line is there to back them up as the whistle will go here. The U.S. Virgin Islands will have possession on this near side. And Brown maybe a little overzealous here with his challenge, did lean in a bit. And the referee has given a free kick. St. Maarten gets a surge forward here. Oh, and the ball played across was wonderful. It was just behind Jaden Benjamin. Again, the right idea from St. Maarten, just bursting towards the penalty area with a lot of pace. But it just breaks down at the end in the critical moment. So that'll leave us with just under 10 minutes plus stoppage time left in the half. And the U.S. Virgin Islands have some numbers here. Little give and go to try to get in behind, but St. Maarten recover on that far right-hand side. Wow. Big defensive moment there. Then Brown in behind. And another big defensive moment for the U.S. Virgin Islands, getting back into their defensive shape just in the nick of time. From the corner, again it goes right towards the back stick, and again a missed opportunity. And eventually it's won back. Darnell John sending a teammate down this near side. It's Donovan Berry, and Berry is double parked. Well, miscued clearance here that allows St. Maarten to move this ahead with Brown. And then Brown tried to slip it in behind, looking for Maker Vans Marcelin, who was shielded away from it. Good defensive work. That was Antonio Martinez for the U.S. Virgin Islands there from a defensive standpoint. Did really well. Another ball over the top here.
Again, Steven, again.
One that the U.S. Virgin Islands are able to get onto here. And there is a man over. But the cross is blocked away by Joseph Arundel just in time. And the U.S. Virgin Islands are going to get a corner here. They have not had many forays forward today. But they get one here as we get towards the final 7 minutes of the half. We mentioned it, they scored 2 goals yesterday against Turks and Caicos, the U.S. Virgin Islands. They've shown that when they can get in front of goal, they have quality and can finish their chances. This will likely be their first chance of the game of any note. Can they take advantage of it? It's a short corner. Oh, and then the first time shot is blocked off the 6-yard line. The follow-up volley is blocked again. 2 chances for the U.S. Virgin Islands. It's St. Martin's turn to show how brave they can be defensively, getting bodies in front of well-struck attempts.
Plus fort, plus fort.
Another early ball over the top here. Benjamin, oh, did so well. Cut it back onto his right, eased his way past the defender, but again, he's not able to finish the chance. Hugo Turque, wonderful ball over the top. The run is timed to perfection. Oh my goodness me, what a bit of skill that is. Just a little touch with the left boot to cut it in onto his right boot, but the shot did not have enough pace on it to trouble Alvarado in goal. Would have been a fabulous finish if Benjamin had indeed beaten the goalkeeper there. Boy, the instincts and just the natural flow there to ease from left to right was so impressive. Just needed more power in the strike.
Allez, joue! Go, 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 go!
Musgrave tried to thread the needle. It's a goal kick. Again, this is really a game that both teams could really use the points in. U.S. Virgin Islands have played once already. They drew 2-2. We talked about that a bit earlier. So they're on 1 point, as are Turks and Caicos. The best they can do is 4 points, and they want to get to that mark, give themselves the best chance of still moving through, pending the Turks and Caicos St. Martin game, which will be played tomorrow. We'll see. Martin thought that was a foul throw. Referee did not see it that way. Ooh, that's a misplaced pass. The U.S. Virgin Islands could not take full advantage of it. maybe the first time St. Martin have made a blatant error in this game. They really have been so stable and strong at the back, but they recover quickly from it, as do many of the good teams. The ball forward is deflected. US Virgin Islands trying to cause a little bit of mayhem at the back here. Eventually the ball played onto this near side is going to roll out of play. More good build-up play from St. Martin on the far side. Jean-Baptiste. Early ball again to the edge of the area. Could still fall for an opportunity as the challenge comes in. Referee points for a throw-in. Another look, Jean-Baptiste would just bounces past Feta, who slightly misjudged it, but did not misjudge the tackle, gets it spot on. Musgrave. Ooh, it's gonna be a long distance strike. That Alvarado parries over the top and out for a corner. St. Martin feeling they couldn't go through the US Virgin Islands there. They tried to go over the top and right on target, but Alvarado's had a good half and was equal to it. That was Jean-Baptiste letting it fly. Alvarado getting to it. This will take us into first half stoppage time. Looks like there's going to be one added minute. And from the in-swinging corner, it is popped into the air and out for another corner. I'll take two from this far side corner. It's whipped in right at goal and cleared away. Well, Alvarado did not see it very well, but one of his teammates certainly did and cleared it away before it could get anywhere near the goal. The follow-up attempt is to Benjamin. And Benjamin skies it over the top and out for a goal kick. And that'll likely be the last act of the half. It is the last act. Couple of late flurries from St. Martin in the attacking third, but the US Virgin Islands stand firm and stand tall defensively in this first half. Both teams having chances, St. Martin having the vast majority of the opportunities, but give credit to the US Virgin Islands defensively. They have been able to close up the gaps. They've made life very difficult on St. Martin to try to break them down, and they have stood tall and been stingy enough defensively to hang around in a game that, frankly, both teams could really, really use as far as the points are concerned. We'll have highlights coming up in just a moment here in Curacao, but at the half, it is the US Virgin Islands 0. It's St. Martin 0 in the Concacaf Boys Under-15 Championship here in League C, Group I. Welcome back, everybody. The U.S. Virgin Islands not wasting any time here. They're going to make 3 changes at the start of the second half. We'll get to those in just a moment. 0-0 game, League C Group I. The Concacaf Under-15 Championships here on the men's side. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew. Happy to have you with us. St. Maarten gets the second half started. They'll be going from left to right in red. U.S. Virgin Islands are in blue and made 3 changes at the start of the second half. Adrian Abraham, Jahan at Maramani, and Ridley Smith all on for the U.S. Virgin Islands at the start of this second half. Zaire Scott, Mensa Jacobs, and Keimani Belloc all replaced. And the U.S. Virgin Islands are off to the races at the start of this second half. Oh, and they score inside of 35 seconds. Wow. Well, they barely had an opportunity in the first half, but with their first attack of the second half, the U.S. Virgin Islands score and take a huge lead here. Donovan Berry with the goal. It deflects off the leg of Jean-Baptiste and goes in. And against the run of play, to say the least, the U.S. Virgin Islands have the lead. Talk about turning the tables at the start of the second half. Well, Alexi Bedford made 3 changes. It certainly has provided a spark. And we said earlier that yesterday really was a big showing from the U.S. Virgin Islands, showing that they could be clinical in front of goal. They hadn't had many chances yet, but their first big chance of the game is taken after so much St. Maarten pressure in the first half. And now it's the boys in red who have to respond.
Allez, vas-y! Maintenant!
Well, the U.S. Virgin Islands now, how are they going to play with a lead? That's going to be an interesting question as we move forward in this second half. But remember, if the U.S. Virgin Islands win this game, they'll be on 4 points and in pretty good position to potentially win this group, pending the result tomorrow. So this could end up being a big moment. We will see. That's going to be a foul and a free kick. Another look. There was the foul at Maramani, the guilty party, and it's a chance for St. Maarten to respond here. They were so close to scoring multiple goals in the first half. It didn't happen for them. Now they're down a goal and in need of a response, knowing that if they do lose this game, they cannot catch the U.S. Virgin Islands tomorrow. Best they could do is 3 points. Damani Brown to take. That goes right towards goal. Easy enough for Alvarado. Ooh, not the best distribution from Alvarado. Benjamin trying to wheel and deal. He's dispossessed. Challenge ricochets out of play. U.S. Virgin Islands throw. Trying to build on a 1-0 lead. Who would have had that at the halftime break? Early cross in. Could fall for an opportunity here. Barry trying to keep it in play, but he's not able to do so. He did have a teammate in Ridley Smith in the middle. It goes out for a goal kick. Another early ball played through. Ooh, Smith is on the chase here. And he does beat the goalkeeper to it, and he scores! Whoa! How about that? The U.S. Virgin Islands didn't even create one chance in the first half. They've scored 2 goals here inside of 6 second-half minutes. Ridley Smith gets there first. The goalkeeper is able to get a touch to it, but cannot keep it away from him. Smith follows up and scores from a really difficult angle to double the lead for the U.S. Virgin Islands. Talk about a super sub. And talk about a super start to this second half. They just didn't have a lot to bite on and chew in this first half. But in the second half, it's been so good from the U.S. Virgin Islands in the attacking third, and they've already got as many goals as they had all of yesterday. And now the concern goes to Ronnie Jean-Baptiste, who might be feeling the after effects of trying to stop Smith from getting to the ball. How quickly has the script been flipped in this game? My goodness. We credited the defensive unit for the U.S. Virgin Islands for being so stingy and strong in that first half. My goodness, has it paid off. Here in the second half, Alexi Bedford has pushed all the right buttons at halftime here. Jean-Baptiste, ooh, yeah, that awkward moment there. He did flip onto his backside. But give all the credit here to Ridley Smith. Never gave up on it. Goalkeeper did not secure it. Smith stayed with it after getting to it and finishes wonderfully. That's a really tight angle. He's able to slot it home. And the U.S. Virgin Islands, who were certainly outshot by quite a few in the first half, are now 2-0 up. Incredible. Oh, what did Alexi Bedford say to his team at the halftime break? It has certainly worked. Along with those 3 changes, it just ignited this U.S. Virgin Islands team. And unfortunately for St. Maarten, I think they're going to have to make a change in goal here. Ronnie Jean-Baptiste cannot continue. Well, we hope it is nothing serious. He did, of course, flip onto his backside, and actually his neck area may have been exposed there as well. We hope it's not too serious. Jacamian George is going to take his place. That is going to be the first change of the game for St. Maarten. It's one they didn't want to make. That's a tough blow for them. And now St. Maarten, who were so good in the first half, have to overcome a 2-0 deficit here in the second half. Marcelin. Ooh, does well. Gets past a couple of challenges here. Still Marcelin. Cutting onto his left. Lays it off, and then the shot is not there. It is miscontrolled. Could be a chance for the U.S. Virgin Islands up the other end, but again, St. Maarten, as they've done for a vast majority of this game, getting right back on the ball. 2 goals in about 5 minutes. Berry and Smith doing the job. It's going to be a foul and a free kick going the other way. Now the goal scorer Smith doing it on both ends. Strong defensive move there. Payne to take the throw. Well, clearance only as far as John here. It will reset. Long distance shot. Didn't see many of those from the U.S. Virgin Islands in the first half, but they are absolutely soaring with confidence right now. Why not have a go? Oh, John again. Payne again. Berry with the hold-up play. Darnell John. Back for Berry. Oh, and Berry not able to fit it through a tight space there, and it's a St. Maarten throw. Ooh, lovely ball over the top here for Berry. Oh, and Berry couldn't take the ball with him. Good defensive work there, and St. Maarten will send it upfield, and it's out for a throw. Now, what a difference a halftime team talk can make. We did say the goals were against the run of play. Again, the slight amendment to that was that, of course, there was a halftime break in the middle. One where Alexi Bedford and his staff clearly reset things for this U.S. Virgin Islands side. They've been a different team at the start of this second half. They've been wonderful. 2-0 up, and now they're the ones really forcing the issue and dictating the tempo. Oh, lovely turn. And the ball through is excellent. Berry looking for the reverse feedback. Oh, and a little dink over the top. Is that a foul? Yes, it is. Free kick just outside the 18-yard box. Well, that entire move, really at the heart of it, was Nelson O'Denny. He starts it, and then he's tripped up here to win the free kick just outside of the 18-yard box. Donovan Berry stands over this, having already scored once. If he could score again here, the U.S. Virgin Islands, within 15 second-half minutes, would be in dreamland here. If they aren't already. O'Denny is also interested in this. 4 in the St. Maarten wall. It is going to be Donovan Berry, who had good shape on it, but it is over the top. It'll be a St. Maarten goal kick after we have a second half cooling break. Maybe not the worst time for it from a St. Maarten point of view. They are now in need of a bit of a team talk to try to regroup after they were so good in the first half. We talked about the U.S. Virgin Islands going step for step with St. Maarten, but to be fair, St. Maarten had the vast majority of the big chances in that first half. It was just about one-way traffic in that first half. The second half, however, has been a different story. The opening goal, what a run, and then the finish from Donovan Berry just off the boot of Jean-Baptiste, the goalkeeper. That was in the early minutes of the second half to really turn the game on its head. Such a good goal. And then this wonderful ball through. Jean-Baptiste commits, he injures himself on this play. You could see his back and possibly his neck there. But then the finish. The substitute, Ridley Smith, from a tight angle, makes it 2-0 just a few minutes after that. And my goodness, what a turnaround we've seen from the U.S. Virgin Islands in this second half. From struggling to create chances to being 2-0 up. St. Maarten will make a change here. Almonte Beret is in. Jordan Nabour is going to make way here. Beret will try to come on and try to provide a little bit of a spark here. St. Maarten's side that needs to bounce back here, or they could be in trouble in this Group I setup. Good hold-up play by Smith. And by O'Denny. Looking for Berry over the top. And St. Maarten will reset with their back line. lovely initial turn here. This is Musgrave. And Musgrave wins a throw on this near side after having to deal with 2 defenders on him. Was closed down by Smith and by Payne as well. Couldn't move it forward, but his team stays in possession. Serkei is going to let that roll out of play for a throw, and there's the scoring summary. Berry, in the opening minute of the second half, was in the first 35 seconds. And about 4 or 5 minutes later, 41st minute, Ridley Smith, the super sub, scores the second. St. Maarten looking to get a goal back here, but that cross is too close to Alvarado, who's just been so sharp. And he makes the catch rather comfortably. Oh, lovely turn here by Berry. But then too many red shirts in front of him. Up the other end, Marcelin trying to burst into the penalty area here. And his cross is blocked out of play. A lovely burst from Mackerven's Marcelin. Nearly got past both defenders here, but it was well defended by Taj Alexander. Out for a corner here.
Tu flottes pas le ballon.
Ooh, the corner goes over everybody's head here. But St. Maarten still have it in possession. Well, as soon as I say that, it's played to no one in particular. Well, just about rolls out of play. And it is a goal kick.
Hey, reste là, reste là. Isaiah. Voilà. Ok. Yakwani, regarde là. Là, ton pied là. Comment? Hey, à la réception, Samy, on y va. À nous. Plus vite, Joseph.
Ooh, Smith tried to follow up there. Not quite able to get on the end of it. Now he does. Ooh, lovely ball over the top here for Berry. It's Donovan Berry! Oh, just touched wide. It's a goal kick. Oh, was there a big defensive touch on that as well along the way? Either way, Berry thwarted by some St. Maarten defending here of the highest order. It actually should have been a corner. It's Richardson with excellent recoveries here to make sure that that wasn't a third goal. But to be fair, that should have been a corner for the U.S. Virgin Islands. Even Alexi Bedford pointed that out. Bottom of your screen as that unfolded. A couple of players down injured here as we approach the hour mark. Berry just getting back to his feet. Actually, both players are back up. That's good to see before this free kick is to be taken. Coming down on the final 10 minutes here, plus stoppage time. The U.S. Virgin Islands at the moment in control. That's going to be another foul and another free kick on the far side.
Marquez, vas-y, perds ton ballon fort devant le but là. Isaiah, il peut, Isaiah. Au deuxième.
From the free kick here. Ooh, it's just looped over the top. There was a couple of red shirts in good position to attack it. It went right past both of them. But it is still out for a corner. Still an opportunity here for St. Martin to try to have the deficit.
Hey, Damani, again? Parce que tu cours comme si again.
Now it's going to be Brown to take. Looking to provide an in-swinger. Towards the back edge of the 18, where it is headed down and cleared off the edge of the 6-yard line. And St. Martin forced to recycle. Well, that's a long distance shot. Oh, off the bar. Now Alvarado, the first time I think he's truly been beaten in this game, but the frame helps out the U.S. Virgin Islands here. Another attempt. That goes wide in the end from Damani Brown. But how close was this? A little looping shot from Beret off the bar. So close to getting St. Martin back in the contest here. Well, down the line by Smith, but that is a giveaway. Brown loses out to O'Denny, who's been excellent in this second half and wins his country a throw-in. Stabbed ahead by Smith, but gives possession back. There's still time for St. Martin, but can they get that first goal quickly here? They might have a chance at it with Brown on this near side. Brown's ball into the middle is excellent, and the shot is blocked. Not cleared yet. Comes out for Turquette, and then the switch onto the near side is out of play. Another long ball forward. Oh, Lovely from Benjamin. Benjamin goes down and then continues to fight on. Here he goes down a second time. Then the shot is saved by Alvarado. Oh! 2 penalty shouts. None of them given. Oh, credit here to Jaden Benjamin. Just never gave up on the play. But both of his penalty shouts go unanswered by our referee. It's tough to tell. Again, there's no VAR, remember. Let's go back and check those moments. Meanwhile, another long-distance attempt by Lake is corralled by Alvarado. And the U.S. Virgin Islands are less than 5 minutes away from an unlikely win. At least it would have seemed that way at halftime. Another bending ball towards the edge of the area. Little layoff. Wonderful ball over the top. Alvarado. Oh, what a stop. He thwarts Benjamin again. Andrew Alvarado with another fantastic save here in the clutch. He just throws an arm at it. Alvarado, and Benjamin cannot believe his luck here. He's been thwarted yet again. That's going to roll out of play. Alexi Bedford's getting another change ready here. That's going to be it for Donovan Berry. And he's going to bring on an extra defender, Gabriel Lett. Try to see out these last 3 minutes in stoppage time. Donovan Berry has certainly done his job, scored 1, could have had a couple more.
Number 16, Gabriel Lett, replacing number 12, Donovan Berry.
Oh, that time Lake didn't make up his mind quickly enough. And a good burst forward initially here, but on both occasions, St. Maarten do well to stop the counterattack. Smith thwarted, followed by Payne on the follow-up. Those two can't link up down this near side, and St. Maarten will win the throw-in. Still in need of 2 goals here, St. Maarten. Another push and a chase forward here. That's a long distance shot, and again, one that's a bit wasteful. Sean Louis and the rest of his staff not happy with the lack of ball movement there. It's a goal kick, and well, we're into the final minute of normal time here. Ball over the top here. Trying to pick out Musgrave. It will not find him. Goal kick again. Some frustration starting to set in for St. Maarten, who, again, if you're just joining us, they were so good. The boys in red in the first half looked the more likely to score after it was 0-0 at halftime. But the U.S. Virgin Islands made 3 halftime changes, and they scored 2 goals in the first 6 minutes of the second half, and they haven't looked back since. We're now into 3 added minutes at the end, and the U.S. Virgin Islands are preparing another change here. Harrison Oriole is getting set to come on. Oriole will come on for Nelson O'Denny, who was just marvelous in this second half. Really had some positive moments throughout. Oriole again will try to come on and try to get the U.S. Virgin Islands over the line here. There's still 2 minutes left to negotiate here. Well, the goalkeeper here under pressure does get the ball away. Again, remember, we'll have one more game for you here. Willemstad and Curaçao coming up after this one concludes. It will be Sint Maarten against Suriname. That will be a Group J tilt here in League C. Musgrave wins a corner with just under a minute left. More brave moments from Taj Alexander, who's been an unsung hero for the U.S. Virgin Islands in this game. This has to go in. From a St. Maarten point of view, it is cleared away definitively. It's going to roll all the way back. St. Maarten have to track it down and hope there might be a little bit more than the 3 added minutes to go. Well, that is it. Full time in Curaçao. Well, at halftime, I don't think anyone could have seen this coming. St. Maarten were so good in the first 35 minutes, but the U.S. Virgin Islands turned it all around in the second half. Goals from Donovan Berry and Ridley Smith lead the way, and the U.S. Virgin Islands could very well be on course for the next round. They have 4 points from their 2 games. St. Maarten have a game tomorrow, but they cannot catch them. The best they could do is 3 points against Turks and Caicos tomorrow. And now Turks and Caicos are the only team that can catch them on points going forward. That big game tomorrow between Turks and Caicos and St. Maarten will decide quite a bit. But the U.S. Virgin Islands did all they could today to put themselves in a good position to potentially win Group I. And considering that the odds were against them at halftime, they deserve a ton of kudos for getting back up off the mat and not only coming back, but winning the match as well by 2-0. We'll be standing by here for highlights. Again, we have a second game coming up between St. Maarten and Suriname as well. But my goodness, did the U.S. Virgin Islands have to work hard to win this one. It was an excellent performance, particularly in the second half, as we do go back through the full-time highlights here. in this one. Again, Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, our first of 2 games here in League C today. We will get to the action in Group J momentarily, but recapping our Group I meeting between the U.S. Virgin Islands and St. Martin. And again, we have to say, in the first half, it was mostly about the vast majority of the opportunities were for St. Martin through the likes of Brown and Benjamin, Turkey, Musgrave, and others. All had opportunities to give the boys in red the opening goal. Benjamin here, blocked by Alvarado. Another chance in behind for Benjamin, thwarted by Feta, the defender. Then from corners there were chances. Alvarado standing tall, making the catch. Then here on the back end, a clearance away. This was the U.S. Virgin Islands' only big chance of the first half. This volley that was blocked away. Not even sure it was a shot on target in that first half. Benjamin, probably his best chance from the first half. Lovely take, couldn't finish. Past Alvarado. Then Brown getting on the end of this ball, but then dispossessed. Jean-Baptiste winning a corner after Alvarado parried his shot over the top, and then one more Benjamin chance. That went over and out. And you're thinking half-time, St. Martin looked the more likely to score and had all the momentum, but the U.S. Virgin Islands made 3 changes, and then this magical moment from Donovan Berry, bursting past the challenges and scoring off the Jean-Baptiste ricochet in goal to give the U.S. Virgin Islands the lead inside of 35 second-half seconds to complete an unlikely turnaround. One that was so quick as well. And then, of course, St. Martin, they had their chances in the second half as well. Didn't quite happen. Then this moment, Ridley Smith staying with it and scoring from such a tight angle after Ronnie Jean-Baptiste could not hang on to the ball that was deflected towards him, and Smith made it 2-0 in the 51st minute. Then O'Denny, who was excellent all second half, wins a free kick here. Berry would step up to try to get his second goal of the game, but he would send it over the top and out of play. Berry had a really good chance here to score as well. Good recovery, though, by Richardson. And then St. Martin desperate to get back into the game here. A shot off the bar on Beret. Then Benjamin thwarted one last time. Alvarado with an outstanding save. And just see what it means to the U.S. Virgin Islands players here as they see it out and they win it by 2-0 after having none of the momentum in the first half. Big, big credit to the way the U.S. Virgin Islands bounced back, and they win it by 2-0. We'll step aside. We'll have our second game of the day. League C Group J takes center stage next between St. Martin and Suriname. Our first game finishes 2-0 to the U.S. Virgin Islands, who for now are in control in Group I. We'll be back in about 20 minutes' time for Game 2. Welcome back, everybody. Our coverage continues of the Concacaf Boys Under-15 Championship here at Willemstad, Curaçao. Our second game of the day is in League C, Group J, as Sint Maarten gets set to take on Suriname. 89 degrees, pretty heavy winds coming through here in Curaçao today. We, of course, hope that the rains continue to hold off for us here in our second game of our morning into afternoon doubleheader. Again, Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, happy to have you with us. Had a really good first game in Group I between the U.S. Virgin Islands earlier today, coming out as 2-0 winners in our first game of the day. And now we will see against Sint Maarten and Suriname who can come out on top in Group J and have potential to control their own destiny in this group. Again, the U.S. Virgin Islands beating St. Maarten 2-0 earlier, and now when you look at the Group J setup, there was a 1-1 draw, of course, yesterday between St. Maarten and Anguilla, and because of that result, St. Maarten is in pretty good position. If they can win this game today, they'll be up to 4 points. Suriname, who play again tomorrow, would not be able to catch them. But if Suriname is able to win the game, the roles would be reversed, and Suriname would control their own destiny going into a big, big Group J finale tomorrow morning. So a lot to play out over the next few days of group stage action, whether it's here in League C or, of course, in League A and League B as well. And again, St. Maarten against the U.S. Virgin Islands earlier gave us a really interesting game. It was a tale of two halves, if there ever was one. St. Maarten played so well in the first half, but couldn't get a goal across. And then within 6 second-half minutes, the U.S. Virgin Islands were 2-0 up and went on to win the game by that very same margin. So we've had some drama already here in Curaçao on match day 2. We will see if that continues between Sint Maarten and Suriname in our second game of the day, this time in League C's Group J. Sint Maarten are in white with the blue trim and the red numerals. Suriname are in all red with the green and the white trim. We will step aside for a moment to allow the playing of the national anthems. Then we'll come back and we'll have lineups and the kickoff here in Curaçao.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please stand as we listen first to the national anthem of Sint Maarten. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please remain standing as we now listen to the national anthem of Suriname.
A lovely rendition of both countries' national anthems as we are closing in on kickoff here. Sint Maarten and Suriname, our final game of this double dip. Take you from the morning into the afternoon, at least Eastern Standard Time-wise, wherever you may be watching. We appreciate you tuning in here for this one at the Stadio Norhilio Hato in Willemstad, Curaçao. Starting lineups for both teams: Jean Kembles, Sint Maarten starting 11 looks like this. Henry Jack leads the front line, a team that did get a goal across yesterday. And then you look in that midfield and Jamie Brooks and company. What can they provide from a creativity standpoint? And Rainier Marion captains the side in defense. Sudesh Singh gets the start in goal for Sint Maarten in this all-important Group J encounter today. Marian, the captain, meets his opposition captain, Kenny Achong from Suriname, and they'll both meet our officiating crew, led by the Guatemalan Orlando Alvarado, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, and the Dominican Republic, all represented amongst our on-field officiating crew. And just another reminder, there is no VAR. Again, as we hinted at earlier, Suriname are making their debuts at this tournament. Sint Maarten got a 1-1 draw yesterday, so they have a point on the board, which could help them get through, particularly if they win today. Suriname will hope to obviously pick up their own result here and control their own destiny going into a big game tomorrow morning. And this is the 11 that'll hope to provide them with that. Orfeo Brodenstein's team looks like this. Amoko Prefor leads the attack up top alongside Josemi Daivaro. The aforementioned Achong captains the side in the midfield. Ivar Sabajo leads the defensive unit, and it's Gajasi Vicente who is in goal. Moments away from kickoff. It's our second game of this double dip. League C Group J action here in Curaçao. Suriname hoping that they can control their own destiny here going into a massive game tomorrow. Sint Maarten would be able to permanently stay ahead of Suriname if they were able to pick up all 3 points, and that would hope for a positive result in their favor tomorrow that could potentially see them top the group. It's like Suriname will get us started. They are in red. They'll be kicking us off going from right to left. And Sint Maarten are in all white with the blue and the red trim. All we need is the referee's whistle, and that will be the key to get us started here in Curaçao. Had a really good first game in Group I. The scene shifts to Group J here, and Suriname get us started. Played over the halfway line, going from right to left. Off we go as our coverage continues of the Concacaf Boys Under-15 Championship. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, happy to have you with us here today. Again, 35-minute halves, 70-minute games. And again, this game has quite a bit of significance, seeing who will eventually prevail out of Group J here in League C. Suriname on the front foot in these opening stages here. Edge of the 18 on the far side. It is crossed into the middle where the defensive unit are able to deflect that away. A secondary clearance ricochets off a Suriname attacking player. That was Achong. And it goes out for a goal kick. Nice positive attacking play from Suriname inside the game's first minute. sort of brought this up earlier in our first game. Will Sint Maarten have a bit of an advantage because they played yesterday? They've got a game under their belts, maybe a little bit more in the flow and a little bit better chemistry-wise, perhaps, or will Suriname benefit from having some fresh legs? We will see. As we did also mention earlier, the third option would be that neither plays that big of a role. We'll have to wait and see how it all unfolds, of course. That could be a chance to push this forward down this near side for Suriname. Eventually they are able to corral it defensively, and Sint Maarten could not move it ahead. Now Suriname on the front foot here. Ball's looped over the top. And the goalkeeper, Singh, is on the case. And Sudesh Singh's outlet is cut out. Suriname pressure on this far side, but Sint Maarten are working their way through it up the field, although eventually they are dispossessed. Dimitri bringing it forward and sliding it through here. But Singh is going to eventually get there first. A decent attempt to try to keep the ball in play on this near side. It does bounce out, and it will be a throw-in for Suriname going up the other end. That was headed forward by Salina. Follow-up ball forward again is cut out. Suriname have the numbers on this near side to handle those kinds of situations, and it goes all the way back to Vicente. Ooh, and as that ball was moved forward, I was wondering if there might have been a hint of offside in there. The answer is yes, there was. A lovely ball down this far side. Sint Maarten have some numbers up ahead. But again, Suriname closed the door. Look to burst up the other end here. Oh, that's a swing and a miss. And Suriname are in behind here. 1v1. Goalkeeper saves it initially, but the rebound is tucked home. It's finished off by a Moko Prefor to give Suriname the lead. Right on 5 minutes gone. Now Singh makes the save initially. It's a good save, but he cannot get to the second one in time. And Prefor slots it in to give Suriname a 1-0 lead in the early stages here. Sint Maarten at least initially looked to have had it covered. A miscue at the back, then credit the goalkeeper Singh, made the save. 1v1. But Moko Prefor was able to follow up and finish it off. That's a big early goal to give Suriname early control.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first goal of the match, putting Suriname in the lead, number 11, Amoko Prefor.
clipped by Raquel. And Suriname add on here. Gonna get an early cross into the middle. Ooh, and it's not far away from being headed towards goal. But it just goes over everyone's head and out of reach. Raquel again. Another reverse little clip over the top. And Sint Maarten will clear it, but it is out for a throw-in on the near side. Suriname swarming at that midfield, trying to make it difficult for Sint Maarten to move it ahead here, but they do have it on the far side, Sint Maarten, and they are able to tiptoe that sideline initially, but eventually the ball leaks over, goes out for a throw-in. Ball still in play. Suriname clear it. Can Sint Maarten create something after that? Not quite. A very, very strong start. Of course, Suriname getting the early goal, hoping to build on that, hoping to use it as a foundation for more to come. That's another ball over the top here. Raquel gives chase. On the layoff, the cross from Forster comes up short. And then Sint Maarten cannot counterattack, at least on that occasion. Oh, Raquel, what a good start for him. He's been all over the place, covering a lot of ground. And was he fouled away from the play? I don't think we saw the whole action there, but I think the referee has allowed that to continue on. And then the switch of play over the top is to no one in particular, and will bounce out for a goal kick. On big games like this, sometimes a swift start can be so important. And for a team like Suriname that were looking to sort of announce themselves at this tournament, a goal inside of 6 minutes will really do the trick. Ooh, lovely bit of skill there down this far side. And the early cross. Just had too much air underneath it. Tried to pick out the goal scorer, Prefor. Eventually a foul will be given. And that's going to be a free kick. That was Keaton Solina trying to muscle his way through. Able to win the free kick, and now his team move it forward briefly. But again, the middle of the park, Suriname have won those battles early on here. Now Dimitri out to the far side. Ooh, and actually there's going to be a foul called away from the play. Collision sees a foul and a free kick goes St. Maarten's way. That ball slides all the way through. Ooh, there's miscommunication here. And Singh does just about enough to clear that. Nearly a rough moment at the back, but St. Maarten do eventually figure it out. Great run up the other end by Solina, but eventually Suriname win back possession of the ball here. Another ball down the line on the far side and almost trying to do a swim move to get to it. It's going to be a foul and a free kick. St. Maarten get the decision and can alleviate some of this early Suriname pressure that is continuing to mount since the goal went in. That's a wonderful switch of play onto the far side. Great challenge inside the 18-yard box to allow St. Maarten to halt the attack in its tracks. And then they look to bring it up the other end. It is swept away. A defensive recovery there. Javier to make sure that nothing came of that. Another St. Maarten cross. After a good build-up, he's headed out for a corner by Damien. And St. Maarten will get a chance to try to find a response here. There's a player down for Suriname away from the play. And it's Dimitri who is struggling here. Based on the field mics that we have, I did feel like a few people were saying that there's about a minute or two away from the cooling breaks that we've been having at this tournament. So this could be the last act before a break here in the first half. We'll wait and see on that. Dimitri is helped off. So Suriname are actually going to be down to 10 for this corner. A corner that nearly sees St. Maarten get a head onto it and eventually sees Suriname deal with it and clear it. Now St. Maarten have to try to get back here. That's a lovely little push and a chase. Down this near side by Prefor, the goal scorer. Suriname don't have the numbers, however. And it is swept away, cleared away only as far as a Chong, who bends the ball beautifully, but again, it's going to be headed away. Not definitively cleared yet, though. Rakil follows up and nearly slides it all the way through, but Prefor eventually commits a foul, and that's going to be a free kick. After good defensive work from Solina, that will take us into our first half cooling break as we're about to enter the 17th minute. Well, again, 70-minute games divided into two 35-minute halves. And both teams get a chance here to reset after a really good start from Suriname in particular. A Moko Prefor's goal that you're going to see here off a defensive mistake has given Suriname the lead. Again, great save by Singh initially, the goalkeeper. But Prefor would not be denied. His persistence pays off, and Suriname have the 1-0 lead. And frankly, they've been in control ever since that goal went in. They've looked the more likely to potentially add on, although give Sint Maarten their due. They've had a couple of set-piece opportunities and half chances up the other end. They'll hope that they could build off that as they try to hunt down an equalizer in this first half of play. Out of the cooling breaks, and Maarten back on the front foot. They'll get a throw in on this far side. And from the throw, the cross is going to be handled by Vicente. To be a little bit more towards the penalty spot in order to pick somebody out. And the attack fizzles out for Sint Maarten on that occasion. Let's see what Suriname can do up the other end. They have some numbers here. Lovely sliding of the ball through here. Whoa, and it's a marvelous finish. Wow. What about that? Well, that was such a tight angle. But Amoko Prefor has scored again to make it 2-0 to Suriname. Well, that was such a quality finish. The run to begin this was so well executed, but so was the finish. Prefor puts it in the only place that Singh couldn't reach it. Prefor is on a hat-trick here with his brace secured already. And Suriname cruising here, up 2-0 in the 20th minute. The first goal was more about persistence. The second goal, all about the skill. And for Sint Maarten, it is double trouble, down by 2 now. And Suriname getting more and more control over the game, seemingly, with each passing moment. This is Forster. Well, there you have it, 13 minutes apart. Those two goals, Prefor on a hat-trick. Suriname again on the ball. This is Forster again. Then they're forced to go back into the center circle. A chance to run into space here for Suriname. And Sint Maarten closed the door that time and win a free kick on the back end. And again, just a reminder, the reason the Suriname lead is so important is they play again tomorrow, and if they were to win that game, Stanguilla, they would win the group. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. That's why St. Maarten do have to try to battle back here, down 2 goals. They have to try and recover this to get a result. They do win the ball high up the field here, but there's still enough Suriname defenders there to close it down and get possession back through Vicente and company. There's a Suriname player down away from the play. Dimitri moving it forward. Referee plays advantage here. It'll give and go back to Dimitri, who lets the shot go. And it bounces wide of its initial target. Solina will leave it. Thrown back in. Panzerflat. There's been signs that St. Maarten are growing into this game from an attacking sense, but they've not been able to scratch across that first goal. As we've seen in other games, whether it's been at this tournament or elsewhere, of course. 2-0 down is certainly not insurmountable, but it's about how quickly you can get that first goal back. So once you get the one, you can always feel the pressure ramp up a little bit more and more and more as the game moves along on the team that's leading. And if you could use that to your advantage, then who knows, the second goal might be on the horizon. Ooh, did that come off an arm on the far side? Referee allows play to continue. And St. Maarten have some numbers to work with here up the other end, but not enough. As it again is swiftly cleared away, out for a throw-in on the far side. Ball looped over the top, easy enough for Singh. 2 outlets with 10 minutes plus stoppage time left in the half. Both goals from a Moko Prefor for Suriname. And St. Maarten stay on the front foot here. They'll get a throw-in on the far side. Still plenty of time for them to find a response before the halftime interval arrives. St. Maarten do win the ball back here. Oh, and the referee does blow the whistle. That's going to be a foul and a free kick. And then immediately it's another foul and another free kick in quick succession here. And into the penalty area to the byline. It is shepherded away. And it is a goal kick. Good defensive work there, Suriname, on that far side in particular. Able to again sort of ease Sint Maarten away. A lot of times that comes down to good shape, good positioning, and good discipline as well in that defensive third. Not all teams have that at this level. Suriname showing a few times here in this first half that they're capable of that. And Sint Maarten thought they might have been away there with Selena, but that's been brought back for a foul. And indeed a free kick as well. Near side, Rakil. Played a decent ball forward, but it is cut out. Sint Maarten's defense also has been stout at times in this first half. Oh, a slip. Now Sint Maarten to get the ball back here. And a lovely weaving run. That's Selena. Eventually is dispossessed, and it's clipped over the top. And the header sees Singh have to try to get to it here. He's beaten to it. And then the shot's going to trickle in. And Suriname score a third goal. It just squeezes through. And this magical half continues for Amoko Prefor, who it appears has scored a hat-trick for Suriname here. Remarkable. Well, Prefor gets to the goal, gets to the ball first in front of the goalkeeper, and he slides it through. It goes over the line before Singh could parry it back out. Credit to Josemi Daifaro for finishing it off anyway, but it's not going to be his goal, it's Prefor's goal, and he's completed a first half hat trick. Well, the second time that Sint Maarten have not exactly been definitive in their decision-making at the back. Singh was late to react, but again, take nothing away from Prefor. His anticipation and his timing were to perfection. The finish, which was so tough because he was running away from goal. His momentum was taking him away from his target. He still scored. And Suriname on the front foot again here are going to win a corner on the far side. That is just all about instincts. Amoko Prefor, and he's got a hat trick in the first half. How about that? A hat trick in under 30 minutes. Just a remarkable display of finishing here. And Suriname, no, they still have 5 minutes left in this half plus stoppages. They've got a corner as they look to try to get even further out in front. It is going to be taken short. And then whipped back in to get the header. But the header is over the top. Daivaro was well positioned, but the header rainbows over the top. Well, can Sint Maarten respond up the other end? It was good build-up play. They will settle for a throw-in on the far side. the throw-in. It's going to go towards the byline here. Oh, and Suriname didn't exactly clear that away. Sint Maarten can follow up. And eventually it is sent out of play, or I should say upfield. And out of harm's way, really. A rare moment where Suriname weren't exactly focused there, but they live to tell about it. And they come back up the other end here. Sint commits again. This time he gets there, but it's a moot point as the offside flag goes up. A pretty tight decision here, although credit to Sudesh Singh. That time makes no mistake coming off his line. Either way, it was going to be Sint Maarten in possession. A lovely switch of play here. Could be a chance for Solina. Solina's ball across. Oh, good save. Oh, is there a foul there? Yes, penalty. Penalty for Sint Maarten on the follow-up. Well, Solina, off the wonderful crossfield pass, makes all of that happen. Crosses it into the middle. Great attempt on the shot initially by Hilleman, who then follows up and is fouled here. And Sint Maarten get a penalty inside the final 2 minutes of the half. Well, Vicente is going to have to try to bail Suriname out here. Sint Maarten with a huge opportunity to grab some late life at the end of this first half. Any bit of momentum to help them get a foothold back into this game. This is a really big moment in the final minutes of the half. Can Sint Maarten get back into the game here? Yes, they can. The penalty is converted. Sint Maarten take full advantage. Jamali Fontenelle finishes off the penalty. And with a minute of normal time left in the half, Sint Maarten get a big first half spark here. It's 3-1. Just what they needed to get something back here and potentially get a foothold back in the contest. And there's still time left in the half. See how much stoppage time there will be, but that's a big lift for Sint Maarten out of almost nothing, really. Well, that's a giveaway. Sint Maarten have the numbers here as well as we're into first half stoppage time here. Suriname recover well, and they'll send it out for a throw-in. One added minute still to be played here. Can Sint Maarten get another attack forward here? They're going to get a foul and a free kick in a pretty good spot here. Well, this could be the last act of the half here. Could Sint Maarten get back within a goal here? This would be some story if they could really make it a game before the halftime is out. Three in the wall for Suriname for this set piece. It's right towards the edge of the 6. Oh, there's a chance there to get a volley in, but it's cleared away. And as Suriname moved the ball upfield, that is how the half ends. Wow. Well, give a ton of credit to Sint Maarten. They were 3-0 down. They get a penalty. They convert that. and they had a chance there to get it back to 3-2. As you can tell, that goal has given them a late lift in the first half. But let's make no mistake about it, Amoko Prefor, the player there, was the star in the first half. A first half hat trick for Suriname, who still have a comfortable lead to hold on to going into a big second 35 minutes. We will recap the first half with highlights in a moment after a really good first 35 minutes of play here in Curacao. Halftime score is Sint Maarten 1, Suriname 3. Plenty more to come after a brief break.
Darmo, Fabio en je moet met z'n warm lopen, die twee.
Welcome back, everybody. Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew, happy to have you with us. Our second game of our double header here in Curacao. It's been a good one so far. Group J action, League C, Concacaf Boys Under-15 Championship between Sint Maarten and Suriname, and there's been superb play from both sides in this first half. Suriname in particular got off to such a strong start and built up quite a healthy lead for Sint Maarten to have a bit of a flurry at the end of the half. We'll break it all down in our first half highlights here, which began with Suriname kicking us off and getting onto the front foot rather quickly here. Was played in behind, but Sudesh Singh was there on the cover. This time, though, Singh was beaten, then got the save. Then Prefor follows up and scores to give Suriname the lead inside of 6 first half minutes. What a start. 1-0 as Prefor was just getting started, really, in the early stages of the first half. And again, Sint Maarten had a couple of forays forward at that point, nothing too much to really speak about as far as their big chances, although we'll get to those later. Suriname got a lot of confidence from that early goal, and they kept on pushing. And then Prefor would add another. Look at that for a finish. Tight angle, no problem. Buries it into the bottom left-hand corner for 2-0 before 16 minutes had been played, or I should say before 19 minutes have been played. And then 10 minutes after that, Prefor completes his hat trick, just getting it over the goal line here, getting it past Singh and rolling it in to make it 3-0, and Prefor completes his hat trick, and all of his teammates celebrate with smiles across their face. Now, Sint Maarten with the late flurry, they win a penalty there that was converted by Fontenelle to make it 3-1 in the final minutes of the half. And then Sint Maarten had one other chance to potentially make it 3-2, a volleyed attempt that they did not quite come off, and that is how the first half ended. Suriname were in complete control, but Sint Maarten with a wonderful response at the end of the half. It's well poised for the second 35 minutes with quite a bit on the line here in Group J. 3-1 Suriname have the lead at the half. We'll have the second half coming up in just a few moments. see there both teams made some changes going into the start of the second half. St. Maarten will be going from right to left, trailing by 2 goals, but having a little bit of the momentum coming into the start of this second half. They made 2 changes. Don Van Odel and Giselle Hilliman both coming off. Naeem Mills and Aiden James coming in for them. And for Suriname, we saw Forster come off and Fabio Chinadai coming on. So we'll see how all of that plays out and impacts the game at the start of the second half. Chinajai in particular coming in is going to be an interesting one. More of a defensive swap for a Suriname team that did start to concede some chances, including a goal at the end of that first half. Maybe Orfeo Brodenstein hoping that his team can shore some things up defensively. Sint Maarten hoping to build on their offensive outburst at the end of the half and hopefully bring that into the second half. And then, of course, what does Amoko Prefor have for us for an encore? He's already scored his hat trick. That's going to be a foul and a free kick as his teammate Tavaro is brought down. Another look at the foul there. This is certainly in a good position to provide some service here. This could also potentially be a shot on target. It'd be quite the ambitious attempt, but it's not out of the realm. It is going to be a shot, but it is going to soar out of play. Well, that's a dangerous pass back, but a good clearance by Singh. Get forward towards James, who holds up the play well, but then cannot pick out a teammate on this near side. That's a good step defensively there by the aforementioned Chinajai. And a lovely feed by Divaro for Rakil down this near side. He cuts to the byline and plays it across here, but that follow-up pass is going to be cut out. And Sint Maarten have a chance to stride up the other end here. This is the goal scorer, Fontenelle, who holds up the play beautifully. And the extra pass out wide is cut out at the last second. Well, here comes Suriname. Lovely run. Little poke out to the far side. There's numbers waiting in the middle. Here comes the shot. Oh, it's spectacular. That is a sensational finish. And Suriname are 4-1 up. Well, is there anything Amoko Prefor cannot do? It's his fourth goal of the game, and he just keeps one-upping himself. It's even better than his second goal. 4 goals in 40 minutes. Absolutely outrageously good. All smiles for Suriname, led by their magnificent number 11. He just keeps scoring in a multitude of different ways. Well, each finished better than the last. And Sint Maarten, who were done so well to try to battle back in this game, have seen Suriname's magic number 11 just continue to produce wonderment and astonishment. Well, we said, what does Amoko Prefor have for an encore here in the second half? And the answer is his best stuff yet. And Suriname remain in control of their own destiny here in Group J because of his magical moments here. Here comes Suriname again on the front foot. It's clipped towards the back stick where Prefor loves to occupy. And then on the follow-up, but coming together there. Oh, and the referee is going to point for a penalty here. And a yellow card as well for Pantofet. Well, you felt when the challenge was made that it could be a foul. It was just about whether or not it was inside or outside the area, and it was clearly inside the 18-yard box. And frankly, the referee had no hesitation here. This is a stonewall penalty. And Suriname have a chance to put themselves over the hills and far away if they can convert it. There's the confirmation of the yellow card. The player who won the penalty is still down. And of course, we wait to see who's going to take the penalty for Suriname. Will Prefor try to go for a fifth goal here? Or will one of his teammates get a chance to add their name to the score sheet today? Well, it was Melvio who won the penalty, did so well down that far side. He gets high fives all around. And now the matter of the penalty, as it is a little bit windy here, of course, in Curacao. Now Sudesh Singh has to try and save this to keep Sint Maarten afloat. But the penalty is calmly converted. And Suriname lead by 5 goals to 1. And this magnificent performance continues from Amoko Prefor. He has scored 5 goals here. His virtuoso performance continues. And Suriname have their largest lead of the day, well on their way to topping the group. He's a goal-scoring machine, Amoko Prefor, with a performance for the ages here. We've said this a couple of times during this tournament. A lot of players who've gone on to have great careers with their national teams have played in this tournament. Not many have done what this man has done today. Amoko Prefor is substituted off and gets a curtain call here in Curacao. He scores 5 goals in 45 minutes of action and departs after a job very much well done. Chesley Camber will take his place. And Amoko Prefor, well, who knows what he would have done in the final 25 minutes. But in 45 minutes, he scores essentially a goal every 9 minutes in the game and puts Suriname in pole position in the group with one of the best performances we've seen at this tournament. And that's not just for this edition, that's for any edition. Suriname tried to bring that ball forward on this near side. There's a player down for Suriname. Actually, there might be 2 players down behind the play. That'll lead us to an injury stoppage here. And that is now confirmed. 2 players down, needing some assistance here. Looked like Prefor left because he had a little bit of a niggle. Well, again, there are some players that have great tournaments but don't even score 5 goals in the whole tournament at any level, frankly. But Amoko Prefor has scored 5 goals, and again, he did it in 45 minutes. Just outrageous. Think about it as well, how he did it in different ways. The first goal was off a rebound where he had to stay persistent, stayed with the play, finished it off. The second goal was just an unbelievably good and pinpoint strike into the bottom left-hand corner from a tight angle. The third goal was a wonderful ball weaved into him, and he was able to, again, find the pinpoint finish from a difficult angle. The fourth goal was just a wonder strike, a bending ball into the top right-hand corner. And then the last one was a penalty conversion, showing how he could even keep his cool from 12 yards. Oh, well, while the 2 players are being looked at, Suriname do put the ball back into play with only 9 on the pitch at the moment because of those 2 injuries. Well, Suriname are really beaming with confidence here. They just have 9 out there. They're still surging ahead. That ball will be clipped up ahead. Good take. Divaro cutting onto his right. Oh, nearly finished it. That would have been another exquisite goal from Suriname here, but it's just flashed wide of the target. Up the other end, St. Maarten not able to get on the end of that hopeful ball. It is Vicente who gets on top of it. Well, Suriname have still not figured out yet what they're going to do, at least with one of their players. Oh, actually, I take that back. There you go. They're going to make 2 changes here. St. Maarten are going to make a change as well. There's another Suriname player down. It's Had another stoppage here. 20 minutes of normal time left. Well, before any of those changes are going to happen, this will be a cooling break here in Curacao. Again, Sean St. Jacques, our entire crew here with you. We've seen a historic performance. There's no doubt about that. Amoko Prefor for Suriname here at this Concacaf Under-15 Championship has scored 5 goals, all by himself, obviously with the help of teammates, of course, but he's gotten the credit for all 5 of the finishes and has put Suriname 5-1 up in what's just been a remarkably good performance against a St. Maarten side who had done so well to get a foothold back into the game at the end of the first half, and they actually could have made it 3-2 going into the halftime period as well. They had a missed opportunity on a volley inside the 18-yard box, and you felt they had the momentum going into the half, but Amoko Prefor quickly changed that with his sensational 4th goal, and then quickly added a 5th from the penalty spot after that. Here comes the St. Maarten change. Kagir Ramazan is in. Adolphine makes way. Damien will make way on the change for Suriname. And Torgio J comes in.
Substitution at both sides, starting with substitution at St. Maarten's team. Coming on to the field, player number 10, Kagir Ramazan, replacing number 5, Kile Adolphine. At the side of
Suriname did make a second change there. Dimitri comes out. St. Maarten make the clearance there. Mario Musendijk is in. More of a defensive change there. Again, if Suriname see this through, they'll be in control of their own destiny tomorrow when they play Anguilla. If they win that game as well, they win the group. It's as simple as that. Oh, good Suriname pressure here. That's a giveaway. Achong ends up getting dispossessed. But his side do recover possession. Well, there's a player down as Sabaho tries to cross it. Eventually, St. Maarten get the ball back, and, well, they immediately do give it away here. And on the layoff, oh, it's a lovely give and go. It could be another here. They're forced to go to the byline. Sabaho's cross into the middle. He's cleared to the outskirts of the 18-yard box. And finally, as it ricochets around in the middle of the St. Maarten half, the referee will stop it for an injured player for Suriname. Live action here with Sabaho. trying to move Suriname forward. There's the incredible goal summary. Moko Prefor has all 5 of Suriname's goals. He was substituted out about 10 minutes ago. Trying to save some more in the tank for tomorrow, have to say. Suriname 15 minutes away from securing all 3 points. Rakil clips it in behind. This could be a chance here, but Singh is able to step in front and make the catch. Oh, lovely ball played forward down this far side. Good cut in field. More red shirts joining in the attack. And the cross into the middle is just out of reach. Sabaho picks up the pieces. Divaro on the layoff. Suriname are forced to go back to the halfway line. Looks like more changes are in the offing. We'll get to those in a moment. Quite a few changes for both teams upcoming. Oh, lovely bit of skill here. Raquel into the middle, and St. Maarten will clear it. Sabaho can follow up here on this near side. Puts in a decent cross. It pinballs around here. St. Maarten have it in possession. And Sabaho is still down after putting that cross in. And the referee will bring it to a halt. And here comes the boatload of changes. It's a goalkeeping change for Suriname. Vicente is out. Arichero Densroy is in. Singh is out. And Solanio Cornet is in. Another goalkeeper change, this time for St. Maarten. Sebastian Russo, Samali George, and Joseph Johnson all on for St. Maarten. Looks like Panto Flat will be one of the players taken off. Try to get you all those changes ins and outs best we can here. But quite a few. 4 changes for St. Maarten, 2 for Suriname in all of that. Those are the last changes St. Maarten can make. Ooh, that's a giveaway. High up the field. Great chance for Ramazan, but could not make something happen out of that. That's just going to roll out of play. Andrea Rees cannot get to it. That's going to be a foul, free kick. As we enter the final 10 minutes, plus stoppages, of course, potentially on the back end of that. Now, both of these games we've had today, there was Group I earlier or Group J here. St. Maarten look to push this ahead. They will get a corner on this near side. They've both kind of shown us the power of halftime. How quickly things can change. Saw in our first game that Maarten had a really, really good first half, but the second half, the U.S. Virgin Islands bounced back and won by 2-0. And then in our second game here, yes, Suriname had a great first half. They've had a great second half, but it was St. Maarten who had the momentum going into halftime, only for Suriname to go right back after them and extend the lead. Oh, but what about that for a finish? Whoa! That is a stunner of a strike for St. Maarten. And with 8.5 minutes left, it's 5-2, and that might be the best goal we've seen today, and we've seen quite a few. That was a spinning strike into the top corner. Oh, from this set piece, it fell kindly on the backside here, and look at that technique. Now this is a thing of beauty. You can watch it over and over again. That left-booted swinging strike, nestling into the back of the net. Sebastian Russo with a majestic goal here. 7th of the game between the two teams, and St. Maarten have another response. They slide it through again. Oh, and I think the referees brought this back. It's going to be a free kick. Alamoko Prefor scored an excellent goal to make it 4-1. Russo may have just topped that with an unbelievable sidewinding left-booted rocket into the top corner. Well, 7 minutes left. St. Maarten again tried to claw some momentum back here. From the set piece. Oh, it's a big chance here. Another penalty shout. Oh, and the referee's giving it. Referee points to the penalty spot here after the challenge comes in. Densroy, the goalkeeper for Suriname, is still down. We'll await confirmation, but if that is confirmed, all of a sudden, St. Maarten could have a chance here to make this a 2-goal game. And by the way, if there couldn't be any more drama, Densroy is the backup goalkeeper. He just came on. Now he could be hurt. And Suriname only have one player left on the bench. It's one of their forwards, Margio Pinas, who may or may not come on. There's the challenge from the goalkeeper here. It's very, very late. There might have actually been a foul even before that. Oh, and there's been a yellow card away from all the hubbub here. One of the St. Maarten players may have just talked their way into the book. Oh, it's all happening here, all of a sudden. Looked like it might have been Naeem Wells, or beg your pardon, Naeem Mills, who has been booked. That's been confirmed. Mills has been booked. Densroy is still being looked after here. Remember, there's still 5 minutes plus a decent chunk potentially of stoppage time left. If this penalty were to be converted, we could be on for some finish here. By the way, it's the third penalty that's been awarded in the game. Both teams have already scored a penalty each. And Densroy has to try to compose himself here to get ready for the penalty. After taking a big shot and obviously being involved in giving the penalty away. Well, this is no hyperbole. This is a really big moment potentially in the game. Can St. Maarten give themselves a chance in the final minutes here? The penalty's converted. Kagir Ramazan makes it 5-3. And there's still 3.5 minutes plus stoppage time left. You never quite know, do you? We've had an 8-goal showstopper here in Group J, and there's still time left. Densroy, credit to him. The goalkeeper gets a big hand to it. Cannot keep it out. And all of a sudden, we may have a game again here. Well, what did we say earlier? St. Maarten were the ones that had that late first half flurry. They're at it again here in the second half. They just will not say die. That's going to go out of play. It's a St. Maarten throw. On this near side, you can hear the encouragement from Gene Kemble and the St. Maarten staff here. Get the ball back in. We got a chance here, boys. Now, Surinam's 5-1 walk in the park is anything but at the moment. Suriname now trying to use some possession in order to get some seconds, valuable seconds off the clock here. Raquel does really well. Gets it out to the far side. Long distance shot is wasteful from Sabajo and gives possession back to St. Maarten. Again, 2 minutes left, but there could be some stoppage time on the back end of that. And St. Maarten, of course, will have to hope that there's at least 3 to 5 minutes of stoppages to give themselves any hope. But the fact that they're even back in the game at all is a heck of an achievement. Well, the referee has stopped the play here. Looks like there might be a player down away from the ball. And the referee's even talking to the fourth official and his assistant on this near side. They might already be mulling over stoppage time here. There's only a minute of normal time left. And of course, this stoppage will be factored into how much added time is going to be brought up here. I think anything more than 4 or 5 minutes, and St. Maarten will still feel that they could have a chance here. Well, the fourth official has the board in hand. From the restart, it is going to be a Suriname throw. We're all sort of waiting here with bated breath. How much stoppage time is there going to be? St. Maarten send it forward. Ooh, it's only going to be 4 added minutes. Thought there might have been 1 or 2 more on top of that. Just the 4. Still time for St. Maarten, but maybe not as much as they would have hoped. Up the other end here, Rees loses out. But Suriname, ooh, they thought they'd won it back. That's a foul and a free kick. That ball's going to be clipped forward. Oh, and Suriname do win it back on the follow-up, but it will ricochet out of play. One back by Suriname, high up the field here. Long distance strike. He's saved comfortably by Cornets. Oh, this is just going to be too little. Too late in the end here for Sint Maarten. They've had some wonderful moments in this game. I'll push to the byline here. Oh, and it's poked right at goal. Cornet again makes the stop. Oh, but the referee says the ball went out of play first. Oh, he actually might have said it went out as the goalkeeper rolled towards the end line. I think that has been the decision here. It's a corner. And from the corner, it's a high arcer. Now it's out of play for a Sint Maarten throw, but there's only about a minute left. I'll credit Suriname. They've been able to manage these last minutes well. And Sint Maarten could have potentially made this really uncomfortable down the stretch. Well, they did a little bit, to give them credit. This was 5-1. Felt like the game was potentially already over. Maybe one more foray forward here for Suriname. It's cleared away by Sint Maarten. And that's full time in Curacao. Well, that really was a treat. An 8-goal showstopper to finish off our day here in Group J in League C. See Suriname win it by 5-3. They needed almost every one of them. Amoko Prefor is the hero in the end, all 5 in the first 45 minutes. Give Sint Maarten some credit on the back end here. They really made it tough towards the end of the game. Cut it from 5-1 down to 5-3 and looked like they had a real chance to maybe fight for the result at the end. But Suriname's game management, particularly in stoppage time, sees them through, and they continue to control their own destiny in this group stage. It's a really important result that puts them still in line to potentially go on from here and win the group, as they'll play again tomorrow. So we will see how all of that does play out. That's a big, big result for Suriname. And again, it's a result that means that Sint Maarten, of course, cannot catch them moving forward, as Anguilla will have a role tomorrow, of course. Both of those teams will battle it out to see who will finish at the top of the group. It's going to be a fascinating fixture tomorrow, no questions about that. And of course, it was a historic performance from Amoko Prefor. We'll get to his goals in our full-time highlights in a moment as well. But again, have to credit the fight from Sint Maarten down the stretch. Full-time highlights here, a really good game. Really, really fun one, particularly from the neutrals' point of view, just about from start to finish in this game. And again, one of those that really both teams needed in order to be in the mix going into tomorrow. And it started out with Suriname on the front foot, a place that they would sort of stay for a vast majority of the game. And, well, you're going to get to know this guy quite a bit. Amoko Prefor scoring his first goal of many inside of 6 first-half minutes to give Suriname a 1-0 lead, and they would certainly use that to build much more on the back end in this game. With a long-distance shot there that was wide in the end. But they'd add another through Prefor. Look at this. Dynamite finish into the bottom left-hand corner. That made it 2-0. It certainly felt that they could possibly go on from there and really add on. And they would. Prefor, there's the hat trick inside of a half an hour of play. And little did we know, that was just the beginning. He'd have more for us in the second half, Amoko Prefor. But he had a hat trick in the first half of play, and that was really an incredible feat in itself. But then Sint Maarten got a penalty at the end of the half. It was converted by Fontenelle to make it 3-1, and they actually almost got another goal back just after that at the end of the first half, but it was 3-1 Suriname going into the second 35. And little did we know, Prefor was just getting warmed up. What about that for a goal? A curler of the highest quality, top shelf, to make it 4-1. Just when Sint Maarten looked like they were getting back into the game. And then a penalty shortly after that, Suriname winning that through Emelvio. And Prefor would convert that as well. 5 goals for Amoko Prefor. That made it 5-1 at the time, and Suriname actually almost made it 6-1. What about that? Tivaro, excellent skill, could not finish. And then Singh getting to the end of that, and still kind of felt that Sint Maarten might have some fight left in them. And then this goal flies in. Whoa! Still an incredible finish. A Russo rocket. Sebastian Russo making it 5-2. Just shortly after that, a penalty given. And then converted by Ramazan, the substitute, 5-3, and he said, hold on a minute, there might be some late drama, but Suriname saw out stoppage time incredibly well, and they hold on to win it and get the big 3 points on the board. What a game to finish our doubleheader of action here at the Concacaf Boys Under-15 Championship. League C providing us with some wonderful drama in our 2 games today, and in Group J it finished with a flourish. An 8-goal thriller that sees Suriname in control of their own destiny going into tomorrow's action. For now, we'll say so long here at the Concacaf Under-15 Boys Championship. For our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. We will see you bright and early again tomorrow after our full-time finishes here. A wonderful game. Sint Maarten 3, Suriname 5. Enjoy the rest of your day.